Hey all, welcome to Parker's Reefs. On today's episode, we're going to check out Aquaristic, one of the craziest local fish shops in Sydney, Australia. All right, thank you for joining me on yet another episode of Parker's Reefs. And as touched on in the intro, today we are headed to 657 Botany Road in Sydney. I'll be sure to have the Google Earth footage showing you exactly where that is. And that is the home of Aquaristic, which has to be one of Australia's craziest local fish shops. Now, I was fortunate enough to be there way back last year when they had their grand opening. And I'm super excited to be back because, well, a lot of things can change in that time frame, and I'm really excited to see how the store has grown in and matured, particularly around some of their display tanks. Well, some of their display walls, for lack of better words, which you'll soon find out, because Aquaristic are well and truly known as having some of the most diverse and some of the most extreme range of display tanks in store, and it is always truly a pleasure to visit. So without any further ado, let's roll the footage and check out Aquaristic Australia. All right, here we are out the front of Aquaristic Aquarium. Now we'll get in nice and close so you can have a look at these trading hours. This store is open 7 days a week and up to 6 p.m. for 6 of those days, which is very, very convenient. Now, when we first walk in store, you are greeted with these ridiculous display tanks. We're going to go over all of them, but let's start off with this one in the window first. This shallow little waterfall tank. It's got some nice freshwater fish in here, keeping the algae at bay because it gets full-blown sunlight through here. And check out this beautiful drop-off system here. It's got this bonsai tree up here looking like it is loving life. All of this moss or some sort of like turtle weed or something there. You'll have to excuse my ignorance on the freshwater aquascaping things. But what I can tell you is how beautiful it is. Look how green and lush those plants are. The waterfall from the top tank down to the bottom tank looks a treat, and then there's some fish in there swimming around. Just makes a really cool piece of furniture, if not a living piece of art. But all is quickly forgotten about that tank because you pan to the left and then you pan up like we are here, and you pan up and up and up. This is 2 stories of paludarium. It is ridiculous how much this has grown in since the grand opening, when it was literally a wall of plants that were just sitting there in their pots. You can see some pretty special freshwater fish. There's also some stingrays in this tank as well, so some pretty cool things going on in the water as well as above the water. But I gotta say, I'm really drawn to everything above the water. There's some really cool plants in here. Yes, there is quite a bit of body of water in there. It is quite a few thousand litres of water volume, which can't be brushed over, but have a look at the plants and the vines here. These flowers, crazy, crazy nice. I will be sure to get some high quality footage of these before we wrap this video up. But I do just want to have a quick look past it while we are here, because it literally kind of smacks you in the face when you walk in this store. And so it should. It's even got like that little zigzag pattern there. It's just such a complicated system that goes up and up and up, has this very high quality lighting. I'll go out to the wide angle lens so you can really take it all in, because the standard 1x zoom doesn't really show it off all that well. And it's something that you just really have to see in person to truly appreciate the size of this wall and just how lush it is. But there is plenty more to see at Aquaristic, and we're going to go and have a look at those now. You can see the store is flat out, but we'll do our best to make our way through all of these displays. We'll let these customers through and then start checking these systems out. Here's one here that's got some vine stick or some driftwood sticking out of the water with some nice plants in it. This one here I really particularly like. It's got some very bright swordtails in there. One of the few freshwater fish I do know, and they are as red as they come. In fact, they are almost nuclear. They're that red. Look at that guy. You can barely see where his eye is. He's just a solid patch of red burning the lens of my camera. And then all the plants in there. Everything just looks a treat. This system here is the original paludarium from Aquaristic, and it still sets a standard. It's got these lights up above it. I believe it's got some Chihirios lights, and then it's got some Kessels as well. Got this fog machine down there. Has a constant drip going through there, just keeping all of these plants as lush as they are. And I love the way that fog is actually up on a little step, and then it just kind of waterfalls down into the body of the tank there. Just crazy, crazy nice. There's fish in the bottom. There's plants of all sorts of colors and leaf structure types. These vines have got mosses and ferns growing all over them. So much happening in here. I could really look at this tank for hours, and I'm about to see the mister come on, because if you've ever wondered how you keep all of these lush plants this green, this will give away the secret a little bit. The tank has a misting system in there which is automatically controlled, and a number of times a day the misting goes on like this, and it creates a full-blown rainforest in this system. And you can see the fog machine then gets disrupted by it. You get fog going everywhere. The plants all get sprayed with water. It's so cool. It's such an event to see, and it honestly does. Every time I see Billy from Aquaristic, he asks me when I'm setting up my freshwater tank, and every time I joke with him that it's probably never going to happen, but I've got to say, Billy, if you're watching this, every time I see this paludarium, it gets me a little bit closer to setting up a freshwater system, because this has got to be goals. I just love the way this is such a part of the rainforest, and being able to have rainforest and reef in the same room is very tempting, I must say. But this is Parker's Reefs, not Parker's Rainforest, so we will get back on track. There is heaps and heaps of marine things to go through, including a couple of very nice marine display tanks, which we'll get to very soon. Just want to quickly show this very basic system here. There's literally soil, stone, one type of plant, and some fairly basic fish in there, but how cool does it look? It just looks like some rolling hills from Scotland or something. I'm not sure. I get very inspired in the freshwater aquascaping world when I visit Aquaristic. But coming back true to my roots, we'll pop over here and check out the first of the marine display tanks. This one being a soft coral system, and it's got some very nice fish in there. You can see a lovely yellow tang looking as good a health as you're ever going to see yellow tang. Nice reef safe ballast angel there. Some very mature clownfish in here that seem to have called it home in this goniopora, and you can understand why too. It's a pretty nice piece in there. Some scollies, some raccordias, there's some soft corals in here, you got some clove polyps, there's that beautiful ballast angel. Very chill too for a ballast. They're normally a little bit more skittish than that, I find, but I quite like it. And what I do like is all of these mangroves growing out of the back right hand corner, which just kind of blend into that 2-story high paludarium. It just kind of gives you that feel of that rainforest and reef right next to each other, which I think is a pretty nice touch. But we'll keep on rolling, because there is so much more to cover though. I do just want to have a quick little look at that clownfish in there, just burying himself in that goni, because, well, it's to die for. But we must keep going. There's heaps of dry goods, heaps of live goods for sale, and of course more display tanks to look at. So we'll keep on panning across, and when we head over this way, you'll see that there are a huge range of these sort of nano aquascaped freshwater tanks. This one is an interesting one. It's got a light underneath the scape, just sitting up under there. Very unique idea. I love the way that gives all sorts of moody sort of shadows and weird lighting effects in that tank. Very simple setup. It just looks really cool. This one I absolutely love. There's something completely zen about this system with this cool light fixture. The rock being the size of the tank and yet not letting the water drip over. That one there with the beta's gorgeous. This lush tank here with the Chihirios light above it's got some crazy colors in there, and I don't know, it's just something very peaceful about these systems, which is very nice to see. Of course, some of these are very simple, some of them are very complex. You didn't see that little closed bowl there, just catching all the, it's an own enclosed ecosystem. But we'll have a look at the ground level dry goods while we're here. We will finish up upstairs where they have the second level of dry goods. I'll just go out to my wide angle lens, because there's quite a lot in this space here. This is an upgraded store size that Aquaristic have moved to, and they have utilized every square foot of the place. You can see they carry a huge range of products, so many foods here, so many pellets, flakes, seaweeds. You move on to some medications, some shrimp specific items there, and you can see, yeah, I'm not even getting it all in frame. There's some big stuff up on the top of the shelves there. Moving on to Coral Essentials, a good Australian brand there. Plenty of the purple wall from Aquaforest. Heading on over into some Triton goods here. You can see some of the larger Triton items there. Their calcium, their alkalinity, their DI resin, and I've also spotted the big 4-litre bucket of Vogel from the Chris Talbot from the Australian distributor there, brings those products into Australia, and I cannot speak highly enough of them because it saved my gem tank in my own Dream Reef tank. But the show must go on. We can see plenty more products here. Dr. Tim's, we come down into all of the individual elements from Triton there as well. So not just the big items that are carried. You've got the Red Sea Reef Care products. You've also got the more standard size of bottles of Vogel there. Plenty of the other Easy Life products. Moving over into Continuum, then you come across into some of the ASF products there, and you can see there are items everywhere. You've got Red Sea products there, Hannah products there, you've got Sarah products there, Roa Foss, you've got Eheim, you've got over here, let's see what we can find over here. This is some Helios products there. You've got some more Sea Chem products there. Aqua One spare parts there. In fact, that's one thing I do want to give a shout out to Aquaristic for. They carry a huge range of spare parts, which is not something a lot of local fish shops do. They tend to get them in when you need them, which I can understand both sides there. The local fish shop doesn't want to just have spare parts sitting on the shelf, but typically when you need a spare part, you need it instantly. And speaking of things that you don't see too often, a decent range of Tunzi wave makers there, including this big Stream 6255, big pumps there. So massive range of goods, and like I said, this is just on the ground level. Even some big items up there, pumps, Ecotech battery backups, so many things. Heading across here to some basic power filters. You get onto the range of return pumps from Red Sea, Sitche, Eheim, Reef Factory, Sea Chem, all sorts of parts there, or return pumps I should say. Big assortment of frozen foods there as well, and then you get onto things like tubing and hose and stuff like that. See some more of the reduced clear products there, and then on this wall you got a lot of the cleaning things from magnet cleaners to scrapers, and then onto some freshwater items there like some trimming scissors and some tweezers, tongs, things like that. Even more spare parts there, which is, like I said, a really good feature of this store. When you have a problem, you want to get it fixed ASAP, you know Aquaristic are going to carry it and get you back up and running. There's even more foods there from the team at Hikari, but we don't just want to talk about dry goods all day. Let's head on into the wet room. I've just popped the filter back on the camera because, yeah, you guessed it, we've got more display tanks to look at, and this is their Showpiece Marine Peninsula that has some crazy stock in there. See a big Bulbonius Anthea there, a whole assortment of other Antheas from Bimaculatus, Purple Queens in there, bicolor Antheas, as well as some other fish as well, and heaps of SVS along the top. Lots of gonies, even see some Cooperi anthers there, or dispars I think they might be. Heaps of Monty growing in here. Let's get the DSLR so we can have a look at the colors on these Antheas. Look at them there. When you have Antheas like that in a tank, their colors absolutely pop. The poor stuff they're trying to get through while I'm filming. My apologies, I don't want to interrupt your day's working, but I cannot help but take in the beauty of this system here, because look at those Antheas. Something about a peninsula system and the color of these fish, it's just, well, it's to die for. They look beautiful. Nice bristle-toothed tang in there, a huge long-nosed hawkfish. Look at that dude just chilling on the grafted sunfire cap there, right in front of the goni. It looks a treat. Look at that Space Invader Pectinia with those stingers out. It looks aggressive. You got Monty just growing in there, patching all of that rock together. Nice Alveopora down there. Got a, I believe it's a cabbage coral next to it there, something that seems to be fairly specific to Sydney. Doesn't seem to come up in Australia, other states of Australia as much as it does here for some reason. But look at those Antheas, whew, stunning. And then you've got the beautiful Bulbonius in there. There's actually two, look at that, two Bulbonius, which is not something you see very often. One, because they're expensive. Two, they're typically a fairly solitary Anthea. So to see two of them in there happy and harmonious together is just jealousy inspiring. And then you get to all of these beautiful SBS pieces up the top here. That one there is a grafted one there. It's got red and green through it. Crazy nice. And then there's all sorts of other named and wild collected acros along the top. Look at this, a gorgeous orchid dotty back there. Very nice indeed. I love the way he's got that. Actually, that's a black cap gamma. My apologies. Just as I was about to say he's got black along the top, I realized it's a black cap gamma. Stunning fish, not one we see all that often. Look at all that SBS there. It's not going to be long till that breaches the surface, and you can see the amount of water flow along the top there. But those Antheas, oh man, they are pretty. I know they're not easy to keep, so Billy and David must be pumping some food into that system, and well, the Antheas are showing great colors for it. But we must continue on, although I will just quickly show you, this system is run by a lot of Reef factory products there. So from their smart test to their KH keeper, temperature monitors, you've got pH monitors, you've got their dosing pumps, all sorts of things going on there to showcase the range of products. Now, over behind that display tank, we also have a beta wall. These are becoming very, very popular, and I can understand why when you see those nano-sized display tanks that the guys have here. Very, very pretty systems, and a nice little beta like this guy here would be beautiful in that system, just with a nice little bit of plant and a little bit of aquascape there. And the colors and things they're getting on these fish these days are ridiculous. I will say the pricing, since I was a bit younger, has come up a little bit, but such is life. Everything in this world has gone up, and at least the quality of fish has gone up as well. Now, panning over to the right here, we can see some lovely discus. I don't know a lot about discus, but these red marbled guys here, I'm just going to pop the DSLR on him for a second, because have a look at that fish. If you could get that kind of color, size, and pattern in a marine fish, you'd be selling your house to buy it. So whether it's freshwater or saltwater, you got to appreciate the beauty there. It's a gorgeous, gorgeous fish. Now, up here, there's something a little bit special. These guys are a freshwater shark, and I tell you what, they actually look like a shark too. Let's have a look up here. Not actually sure how to pronounce that. You can see they are not for sale, but cool to see nonetheless. You got some big Oscars here doing what they do, looking pretty aggressive. And of course, there's a huge range of freshwater fish. You got red-tailed dumbos here. Those guys look beautiful. All of these freshwater systems here have typically, when you go to a local fish shop, you've got pretty standard LED lighting over freshwater fish tanks. But at Aquaristic here, we have Chihirios lights, which I'm just trying to show you by panning up there. And I've got to say, I've never in my life seen freshwater fish, their colors pop like they are popping here. They look incredible, and it could be a little tip there for anyone else setting up a local fish shop and wondering what fish lights to put over, or what lights to put over their freshwater systems. Check out the Chihirios range. Now, over here we've got shrimp, another item that's becoming super, super popular in Australia just due to the price, the care requirements, and of course they go very well in a small aquarium. And Aquaristic here have a huge, huge range of different shrimp available. Plenty of different plants as well. From these ones here that you can see, these are red root floaters. sounds like a bad night out, but it's all sorts of plants here. From these ones here, they're partially submerged there, up into ones that are fully submerged, and of course those floaters that are sitting on top. And you can see the pricing on screen there. Very, very affordable, and I'm under the impression they grow fairly quickly too, so you don't need a lot of these plants before you're filling out a tank very quickly. But huge, huge range here, lots to look at. And of course, there's even more freshwater fish before we get up to all of the marine livestock. And again, the colors are popping. Look how red these guys are, ridiculous. Very, very nice. There is a freshwater fish down here that I've spotted that I quite like, and let's see if I can get into him now. Let's have a look. These fancy female betas. Normally, when I've seen female betas before, they're pretty basic looking. These females here, ridiculously nice. Look at the white and blue on that one there. Stunning. Very, very nice. That's going to go in with a male beta. So you can pick out a crazy male beta, you can pick out these crazy female betas, and they're not going to kill each other, as far as I know anyway. Again, I'm no freshwater fish expert, but man, they make a pretty cool looking fish. Now, we must keep going. Here's some goldfish here. I don't know anything about all the different types of goldfish, but again, the colors of these ones absolutely popping off the charts, which is nice to see. There's some nice fish in there too. Some more of those betas, I think, showing some of the different plants in there. Check out these goldfish up here though. Crazy patterns on them, crazy colors. You got the whites and blacks, the whites and reds. In fact, I'll pop the DSLR on just to have a look at this guy here, because look at that fish. I know it's a goldfish. I know they're basic. Well, maybe I shouldn't count them down or talk them down, because what a gorgeous fish, and not crazy expensive. You can have an awesome assortment of these. They go in a pond. They can go in a tank. You need a big tank, but even in a pond, very, very nice indeed. Now, in the middle here, there's this little workbench here where the team can bag things up. They can do your water test, do anything they need to do, or even prepare their maintenance. And it is all hands on deck. You can't even see Boss Man Billy here bagging up some fish. No one is safe here. If I hang around any longer, I'll probably end up bagging up some fish. They're always busy at Aquaristic. But coming over here, you can see some peacocks and a few of the remaining freshwater fish coming up here. Some yellows on those are very, very nice. Again, if you could get marine fish with that same sort of size and coloring, like a yellow tang, for instance, I know these guys are a bit smaller, you would pay through the nose for it. So credit where credit's due. Pretty fish, but I'm not here to look at freshwater fish. I am here to look at corals, because that's what I live and breathe. And I'm very pleased to say Aquaristic have heaps and heaps in here, and they've implemented this very nice system here where each and every piece in the system has a number on it. So you can see there C25, C26, you can come up here and you can see C25 was a reverse hammer, 60 bucks, C26 was a hammer teal. Very, very easy and very good for customers to be able to identify what the coral is and how much it costs without having to bother the staff. I really, really like that. And you can see huge diverse range of corals already. I do like the way a lot of these pieces are fragged. They're very small, nice to see. Got some nice Bernardoporas up there, some Hero Turbinaria. You've got some more encrusting LPS in here, heading over to some Montes. I do quite like this Recordia here, D71. That's a small piece, but man, I do like the little grey bubbles looking from the top down. You see it's kind of orange with pink bubbles in there. I quite like that one. Heading up a little bit further, we can see some more Recordias there. Each and every one of these has their own individual number. Into some Montes. I quite like that orange with the blue polyps on it. And then check out this green with the purple polyps. Very, very nice. Onto your chili pepper Montes there. And then some more variants again. So quick little top down of the type of corals they have in stock. And again, you can see that Recordia D71 is $180. Small piece, but I quite like the colors on it and a very reasonable price, I will say so myself. Now, panning on, I quite like that nice long polyp leather there. Quite a good range of soft corals. There's even more on the other side that we'll check out when we get over that side because as you can see, we've got quite a bit more to follow along here. On behind me here, there is the invert and algae wall. You've got some dead man's finger there. You've got all sorts of inverts in here from snails, hermits. You've got abalones of all things and all sorts of macroalgae in here. Lots of trochus, including some big monster guys there. Always good to see, but let's get back over here and check out these corals because up on this system, you can see we've got a good assortment of scollies here. You see the letter and number pattern continues. Nicely spaced out, makes it very easy to identify all the pieces. Moving on to some very nice acans. In fact, I rarely look at acans, but that one is stunning. And I say I rarely look at them because my angel would eat them. But F25 here, $200 Australian. That's a very nice rainbow acan and a good sized piece at that. Having a look at some of the other acans here, F26 is a very nice piece. Got that nice teal splash through it. This one here has got green, gold, then teal. I like the way you get three colors in that piece and yeah, just a huge assortment here of wild collected acans. Look at the contrast on that, the red and green. Whew, looks beautiful. And yeah, just keep on scrolling. There's plenty to see, a nice extension on those pieces there. And you keep going through to some trackies, cynarias, some fungias there, some wild collected zoas, duncans, onto some rhodactis, some larger soft coral colonies there. And then we go on to the second tank. And this one has acro. You can see on the screen here, acro is $60, $65 Australian. Very, very affordable. These are wild collected colonies. Lots of coral for your money. You see the price on screen there. I quite like myself a little wild collected acro, and you can see there's heaps there. Also got some clams, which is nice to see. Even got some wild collected echinata there, which is something you don't see too often. But back to the clams, squamosas in there, maximas, all sorts of things to pick from there. And clams are something making a little bit of a comeback here in Australia, which is cool to see because they add a nice little bit of diversity to your tank. I like, there's some for sale pieces here. Well, of course, they're all for sale, but on sale is what I should say. Up in here, you've got your anemone basket. So you've got some frosted fire anemones there. Over to your standard greens there, and some more over in the bucket over there a little bit further. But just want to pan back this way for a second because there are, of course, plenty of marine fish as well. Although I will say the team were recently expecting, or I say recently expecting, they're actually waiting on their driver to return from the airport with even more fish. So top-ups to come, but have a look at this Personifer angel there. Gorgeous specimen indeed. Not a fish you see every day, and my cameras are struggling to focus on him, but what a beautiful dude, and he's not shy at all. Also nice scribbled angel there, so plenty of fish. You can see the staff getting the tanks ready, awaiting their arrival. But one thing there is plenty of, and that's coral. You've got even more anemones up in this system here. Some beautiful long polyp, green star polyps there. Quite like that. Check out the color of that starfish in there. Some big Montes in there, some rhodactis, some bird's nest. Looks like this could almost have been from someone's tank shutdown. But over here on this side, have a look at this rhodactis here. That thing is massive. That's like palm-sized rhodactis. On some Favias and Cyphastreas. I quite like this one back here, that big piece there. It's got that extra large, 150. Very bright coloration on it, quite like that. You got some Lobos, some Patchies there. Heading across onto some Torch, which is always very popular at the moment, and there's no shortage of high-end pieces in here. I'll get the top down and have a good close look at them for you, and look at that green with the gold tips on it. Not something you see often. Typically you see these hulks with the pale tips, very bright stem. You got a nice green center there with the gold stem, very, very nice. Onto another sort of yellow tipped purpley or greeny piece there. More of those green centers. Onto your 24 karat golds there. Great assortment of Torch, and believe it or not, there's even more to come, including some very high-end ones. But have a look at that bubble coral too. Beautiful piece, very happy and healthy there. So a huge assortment just in that little space there. You move on to some Wilsonii. You've got more of the wild collected acros there, $65 Australian a colony. Lots and lots of value to be had there. But I've just noticed some very fancy pieces up behind me here, including some nice Recordia in that bucket there. But this seems to be a little bit of a stash tank here. I can see some of that cabbage coral, pink Digi, PC Rainbow, Raja Rampage, Fireworks Acros. You got Vivid Rainbow there. You've got ASD Millies. You've got all the named different pieces in there. Quite like those Fireworks though. Even some Dallas, Red Polyp Dallas. Lots and lots there. And it also looks like yeah, that one up there, yeah, you got the two Dallas. Also looks like some Holy Grail Torch and things in there too. So I'll do my best to get the top down in here. You can see the Red Polyp Dallas, Standard Dallas there. We've got some Fox Flame. I think that's the ASD Millie there. Some more of those variants there. This piece here, have a look at the coloration on that. Whew, orange for days. The Fireworks looks great there. You even see some Holy Grail Micro Musa, but have a look at this Holy Grail Torch. That is... that's nice. That's green and gold every day of the week, and cheering on the Aussies. But we'll keep on rolling because this tank has even more fancy bits in there from different Chalice, Recordias. Very nice OG bounce in there. That gold Favia. Whew, I like that. And then you get onto some Amazeballs, Gonies. You've got some high-end Alveos there. Some nice Acans. Some nice Zoas. A beautiful glitter Goni up there. A hammer with some super bright stems on it, and even more. But getting that top down into the system again for a look. Have a look at these Acans. Look at that red, pink, purple, yellow, all in one system there. Absolutely love it. Down to the Gonies. These are so popular at the moment. You can see why when you see colors like that. There's that nice Chalice there, the watermelon in there. Look at the colors there. OG Bounce, Flamethrower Chalice there. Some nice Recordia. Looks like the Recordia is eating a peppermint shrimp. Nice. Have a look at this Bower Banky there. Gold, red, green, purple, all in the one piece. Love it. Over to this hammer here, which has got the bright gold stems on it. A nice teal anchor as well. Very, very nice. And then over to this glitter Goni, which has just got glitter for days. Stunning, stunning piece, great coloration, and of course some Space Invader Pectinia too. Nice bright yellow eye on that one. But we'll keep on rolling because there is lots more of the non-named pieces, which do tend to go for a lot better pricing, like this big Goni here at $85. Very, very nice indeed. Some big frog spawns in there too. And then over here we've got some Alveos. Very nice assortment, some wild collected Gonies there. All very nicely priced indeed. Some more Gonies, in fact a huge range of Gonies here. Quite like the color of that one there. Looks very much like some of the named pieces. And then we get onto some hammers, greens, golds, models, reverses, some yellow marbles in there, all sorts in there, all very nicely priced. This is an incredible range of livestock for a shop that's realistically known for their cheap prices on dry goods. And then you get up to all of these pieces up here that are grow outs. They are not quite for sale yet, but you can see they have heaps more coming. Look at the color on this row here, that double row of orange colored acro that I believe Billy says was a wild collected piece that came in brown. They cut it up and it's just turned gold. Can't wait to see when they are available for sale. This row here has got this beautiful pink coloration to it as well. So the team here are actively fragging and getting some pieces cooking away so that they're going to have a continual supply of very nice acro, which is cool to see. Now, Over here we have some black worm, live black worms, which you can get there, $8 a serve. Super, super cool to see. They had these little tanks especially built for them. And you've got yet another marine display. I like this one. This is a very simple sort of, mostly soft coral. There's some SBS in there, but it's meant to be a very easy to set up system. I'll just let one of the staff through behind me there. It's got some beautiful pieces, nice pair of clowns and a couple of, looks like, almost look like some freshwater fish. They almost look like neon tetras that have been acclimated across. I'm not sure what they are, but the team have done some sort of sorcery with the fish in there, but a nice simple system. But we will pan back over this way because there are more corals to see. I can't believe it. Aquaristic, always been known as a store that has a huge range of dry goods, but how is about the range of corals in here? Crazy. These acros in here, have a look how well they're growing out. You cannot see fragtile under them, and the coloration is ridiculous. Bright green with purple dots on it. So many bits to look at there. This little piece down here, I love that. I got to get a top down of that. It's kind of a smooth skin, peachy colored piece, which B82, if I was not in another state, I would definitely be picking him up. If you are a Sydney local and you're heading to Aquaristic, please buy that. Otherwise, I'm going to have to fly back and get it myself. That's a gorgeous piece. I don't know what the price is. I didn't look on screen, but I didn't look up at the glass. I didn't want to be tempted because I know I couldn't take it home. But even more frags from SBS through to LPS into softies. You can see some Bower Banky frags there, one of my favorites. And I will just have a quick look through here because this was one of the features when we did the tour of the grand opening, this huge room of UVs in here, keeping all of these systems nice and clear and keeping all of the pests at bay, and it's still cranking away as intended, which is great to see. And I love that keep it open so you can see what's happening there. But we'll make our way out because I did talk earlier about a second story here, although we will just have a quick look at these plants on the side here because, well, they look pretty nice. And what I did find interesting was this propagation tank down here. I always think of propagation of mother colony of corals, but it's cool to see that they're doing basically the same thing with plants. So Aquaristic, very, very sustainably focused on keeping themselves a good supply of plants and corals, which is a nice touch. But we'll head upstairs because, yes, the paludarium is 2 stories tall, which means there is a second story, and the public are welcome up here because there's yet more goodies to go through up here. Granted, no livestock up here, but still plenty of things that we need to cover while at the incredible Aquaristic here in Sydney. Heading up the stairs, and you can see we are greeted with all sorts of treasures up here. Starting over on the left here, you've got some of the Reef factory items from Smart Tester, reagents, pumps there. Also got the DIY lids from Red Sea there. Over to some of the Chihirios lights that we talked about on their freshwater systems, and then into this back room here where it's all about aquascaping, whether it's marine or freshwater. You can see a huge assortment here of marine rock there, and there is space available for you to sort of start putting some things together. So you can just buy the rock you need, and there's a bit of a spot there where someone's been scaping away. And then up behind me here is some of the freshwater items, including some massive vines and plenty of the freshwater rock. Over on the back, there is an assortment of plumbing items here, from pipe to fittings, of course, so that you can plumb up or make any adjustments to your plumbing, which is something that I find myself always tempted to do, always tempted to run piping in different directions. This just sort of goes hand in hand with reef keeping. But out here, you can see we've got all sorts of items from Auto Aqua, you've got Ecotech Versa, Red Sea there, you've got Kessel lights there, you've got all the spare parts from the awesome team at Reef Pure RO. You've got these 3D printed Vortex covers from Fat Man Reefing. You've got plenty of frag plugs there and fragging accessories. And one thing I see down here is a huge assortment of Neptune Apex pieces there. Also got the Kamoa Quijan, you've got a GHL Profilux system there. So the team really do carry a huge assortment of parts, like I said before, including all of these items here from the awesome team at Reef Pure RO, Australia's best RO DI machines, with absolutely the best advice. Cannot recommend them highly enough. But we'll keep on panning. You can see plenty of spare parts there for fluvels, for Aqua One systems. Over to a section of Chihirios lights here. They carry a full range of all of the different sizes, all the different ranges, including these beautiful pieces up here. These bright boxes, and then the RGB Vivids up there. Look at them, WRGB lights there. All sorts of the Chihirios lights, which you can understand because well, they make their freshwater fish look so good. So you can see at the top there's a team that do the packing of orders from Aquaristic online. They pack up all your orders and send them out to you. But let's just have one final look at this huge 2-story high paludarium, because I want to get the DSLR camera onto it and have a good look at these plants and leaves up close, because it's from a distance it just sort of looks green, but there's a huge assortment of different plants in here. And look at the vines, just giving it all a bit of structure. This sort of rail mounted lighting set up to make sure that all these plants are getting spotlighted to get all of the light they need, but also so we can really appreciate their beauty. And look at the ferns and things on there. You can see all sorts of plants. I like these leaves here with this fairly dark sort of central pattern, and then that green section followed by what I would call a growth ring from the coral world, with that deep dark color around the outside of the leaf. Looks super, super cool. And then you can see the water just dripping through there. I definitely love that. There's some plants that have grown right out onto one of these vines here. Or maybe that is from the vine, but whatever it is, it gives a cool sort of third dimension to this tank. And then it's a pure joy to see some of these plants here just flowering. Look at the colors on that. Just stunning indeed. Bright purple, and then the one up here above it's bright yellow with some purple on the inside. I know this paludarium was a huge amount of effort to build, but I've got to say it is absolutely worth it and sets the standard across stores in Australia. Alright guys, there you have it. That was the tour of Aquaristic. I think we can all agree that they have some of the most extreme display tanks, and it is absolutely jaw-dropping when you first walk in there and see that 2-story high paludarium with just plants and flowers and some crazy fish and stingrays going on there. Then you get into some of the little nano tanks that are just aquascaped to a T, and that's before you get to any of the ridiculous marine things they have there, from that beautiful peninsula display tank all the way through to that crazy range of stock. Now, if you are not fortunate enough, like I was, to get up to Sydney and check out Aquaristic, fear not, you can take advantage of their online store, aquaristiconline.com.au. The guys there have Australia's best pricing on dry goods, and as you can tell just by what's in store, they have a huge range as well. So if you were ever looking for any items, be sure to jump on their website and check it all out. Like I said, they've got to have the biggest range, and they most definitely have the best prices. So always worth a visit, aquaristiconline.com.au. Now, I don't have anything further to add other than I want to give a huge shout out to these names on screen here. They are my channel members, and they do chip in a couple of bucks each and every month to make videos like this, where I can jump on a plane, head up to Sydney and tour around Aquaristic possible. And for that, you have my most gratitude. Thank you so, so much for making that possible. And I do also want to give a huge shout out to all of my channel subscribers who took 2 seconds of their time and paid no money whatsoever to become a channel subscriber, which helps the algorithm push these videos out to even more people. So if you are yet to subscribe, please do consider doing so, because it really helps me out a lot. Now, I will finish things up there, but I do just want to remind you that we're dropping 2 videos a weekend at the moment, all the way up till New Year's. So heaps and heaps of content to come, including some crazy reef tanks from the Sydney region. I was fortunate enough to get taken around and view out some of the most ridiculous home reef tanks you're going to see. So be sure when you do subscribe to hit that bell notification. That will ensure you will get notified as soon as I drop the next video, so you don't miss out on any of the action. Other than that, guys, I think I will leave you with it. Thank you so much for watching. Till next time, stay safe, keep reefing. Cheers, bye.